Before that trip to China, though, Modi is heading to Japan for a two-day visit. He's scheduled to meet with his Japanese counterpart, Shigeru Shiba, and governors of some of the prefectures. Sources tell Bloomberg that Modi is expected to secure nearly $70 billion worth of investment pledges from Tokyo as he seeks to bolster New Delhi's economy against soaring U.S. tariffs. The two sides are also said to be signing an economic security pact covering cooperation on semiconductors, critical minerals and AI. Now, ahead of Modi's China trip, Bloomberg has been reporting about President Xi Jinping's steady and quiet outreach to India. We have been told that Xi wrote a letter to his Indian counterpart back in March to test the waters on improving ties. For more on this, let's bring in our South Asia Economy and Government Managing Editor, Nasreen Seria in New Delhi. So, Nasreen, what more do we know about China's outreach to India?
Hi, good morning. Yeah, we saw, quite early on, this is during the time when the U.S. was ratcheting up its trade war with China. We saw President Xi making a quiet outreach to India. This is what our sources are telling us. They've started towards last year, towards the end of last year, already easing the border tensions. But from New Delhi's side, it wasn't really until June that they started to invest more effort into patching up the relations with China. And in June, the context at the time was that, the trade talks between India and the U.S. were hitting some hurdles. And we also had the Pakistan conflict with India that had just ended. And we had an unwelcome intervention from President Donald Trump from New Delhi's side. They viewed his intervention in the Pakistan conflict as something that they disagreed with, and we started to see tensions growing between New Delhi and Washington, and it was during that time that we saw India and China starting to take more concerted efforts to try and improve relations, and we've really just seen an acceleration that is culminating this weekend in Prime Minister Modi's first visit to China in 7 years. He'll be meeting with President Xi Jinping for a bilateral, and we've seen, his top officials going out to China and, holding talks on several factors, key among them being the border issue, but also, ways in order to improve trade and investment between the two countries.
Yeah, tell us a little bit more about the analysis around the timing of this. Why is India keen to patch up ties with China now?
Yeah, the timing is very interesting, and we have the U.S. tensions with India starting to really impact its economy's outlook. India is the fastest growing major economy, and we had this week Trump imposing 50% tariffs on Indian exports to the U.S. The U.S. is India's major export market, so this will be damaging, especially for Prime Minister Modi's plans to make India a manufacturing hub. We are seeing a more effort. I mean, the Japan trip as well that Prime Minister Modi is embarking on today is a way of finding relations, building stronger relations with friendly nations, and also patch up ties with countries like China. So India imports a large quantity of its imports from China. It relies heavily on some of its key industries like electronics, pharmaceuticals. All those inputs come from China. Maintaining those investment ties and those trade ties are very important. So from India's perspective, it does not make sense to continue border conflicts, to continue tensions with China at the same time that its relations with its biggest export partner, the U.S., is starting to sour. And also from an economic point of view, maintaining soldiers and militaries on the borders is costly. And so for both sides, with other strategic objectives in mind, they are looking to ease those tensions and focus on the economic relations that they need to strengthen.